The second talent tree is about empowering the creatures that the player summons through the summon portals. This means that they'll be less reliant on using their own abilities to deal damage, but they will be focusing on the survival gear, as that is the stat that that creatures currently scale off. They will inherit 50% of the player's health and power and 25% of the player's resistance and penetration. And note that the player's abilities do not scale with resistance or penetration, so effectively gearing this way without taking this talent tree is a waste of those stats. The first talent, if we just give myself some XP, is that creatures explode when they die. So if I summon a creature now, using this portal, this does apply to sacrifice as well. Obviously these enemies aren't going to currently attack back, but when I sacrifice this creature, it should explode and deal some damage as well. Now that damage only applies to enemies. It will not damage other creatures or the player, because this will probably be pretty annoying if you were playing it, and it would put players off of this spec. The second talent in this tree is called Double Down. It gives the player a 50% chance to summon 2 creatures instead of 1. However, that will take the health cost for both of the creatures, so you kind of have a little bit of chance there. You could summon 2 creatures, but it's also going to cost you twice as much. So in that case, we did get one off the bat, which is quite nice. All it does is it finds a random int between 0 and 100, and if it's over 50, it will spawn 2 instead of 1. The last ability is called Overflowing Power, and this talent actually increases the stats of which the creatures inherit from the player. So by default, it's 50% of your power and health and 25% of your resistance and penetration. This ups those scales to 100% of your power and health and 50% of your resistance and penetration. These are added on top of the creature's base stats. So if I just quickly play and summon a portal in here, what we should have is, if I summon a creature now and get that in our Explorer, we should see it has 42 power, 501 health, 2.5 penetration and 12.5 resistance. If I just quickly kill that creature now, unsummon the portal and give myself that last talent, what we should see now is when I summon this portal and we spawn a creature in, he now has 1000 health, 64 power, 5 penetration and 15 resistance. So again, those scalars can be tweaked later on in the design, but they will inherit that system.